Well, hey Jeff, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you, Dominic?
I'm doing excellent, thank you. First, thanks for lending your time and expertise here as we kick off this digital video series focused on technology innovation and energy and sustainability. I know for me personally, it's really exciting to kind of look back over the past, 15 or so years at what's changed in the energy and sustainability industry. And what really stands out to me most is how the rate of technology innovation and digital transformation today just continues to accelerate at such a rapid pace, not just in the energy industry, but in the world broadly around us in our daily lives. And I know for you, in your role, it must be really exciting to be in the thick of it. So maybe before we get started, tell us about your background and your role at Schneider. What attracted you to Schneider and what excites you about your work?
Thanks for inviting me to chat about such an interesting and important subject. I've earned a PhD in applied mathematics several years ago and worked for several very interesting companies, including one of the US Department of Energy national labs, and consulted for several DC-based government agencies. Over time, my job title has slowly changed from mathematician to data scientist to machine learning practitioner, but really it's all been the same thing, just applied to new, different, and challenging problems. I joined ESS about a year and a half ago as a lead data scientist when I was on the market for a new role. I wanted to find a career at a place that was had a genuinely good mission and what could be more timely and more exciting to work towards than sustainability. I get to contribute to a noble mission using cutting edge technology such as data science, machine learning, and AI.
Well, that's really cool. So, Jeff, tell me, as lead data scientist, what's your view on the importance of establishing kind of a culture of innovation and critical thinking within organizations? It's a lot more than just data. It's how can you really establish that culture of innovation so that it continues on within the organization?
Yeah, that's a great question, Dominic. My job is mostly about making other people's ideas come to life using technology. I'm actually excited to admit that every project I've worked on here since I've joined ESS has been someone else's idea. When individual subject matter experts can look at their role and ask, how can we make this product or service better on a daily basis, we really have the potential to do some exceptional innovation. I'm slowly becoming an expert in the field of energy and sustainability, but I need to be surrounded with smart, driven people who can propose novel ideas and work with my team to bring them into existence.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense and is really good to liaise with the business to make sure that you understand exactly what you need to do to make those projects come to life and those ideas come to life. Talk a little bit about how you've seen Schneider encourage innovation within the organization. What's worked well from your perspective? What lessons have we learned along the way? I'm sure there's hiccups that we've come across along the way. And then maybe what advice would you give others or other organizations embarking on a similar sort of journey?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest themes that we encounter at Schneider is act like owners. Leadership asks everyone to take an ownership stake in their work, be the best at what they do, and find ways to improve. My team and I love this mentality. We've spent a considerable amount of time educating individuals, teams, and leaders throughout the business about the different capabilities we have using new methods and tools in data science and machine learning. My goal really is to provide everyone with enough understanding of these fields so that they can recognize when there's room for improvement or room for new products. This helps enable our culture of innovation, as we've labeled it.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And since joining Schneider, do you feel like as a part of your role, you've really been able to help educate parts of the organization and get them excited and bought into, what you're trying to accomplish with your data science team?
Absolutely. We started this about a year ago when we provided a lunch and learn opportunity where we explained kind of the ins and outs of data science, machine learning, and AI. We tried to level set with everyone as to what these buzzwords actually mean. And since then, we've taken deeper dives with individual business units so that they can understand how those different technologies apply to the work that they do. And we've asked everyone via that lunch and learn and the separate learning opportunities to provide ideas and just have a casual chat about how they see this technology being applied.
Yeah, and I love one of the things you did was set up a Microsoft Teams channel where any number of people from the organization could share content, and whether it's news articles or links to new technology, and really develop a rich dialogue around some of this stuff. So I know for me personally, it's been cool to go and check some of that out, and also engage in conversations with different parts of the organization around some of the innovation that you all are working on together.
Yeah, the Teams channel has been a great opportunity. We've had tons of great ideas. And the interesting thing that I've seen is someone will come up with an idea and other people in the organization will recognize that they have a very similar need or desire to innovate in the same way. So it's been a great way for others to collaborate together, not just only with my team.
Yeah, totally. So you mentioned just a bit ago about the kind of some of the buzzwords that are out there, and I know in my role in strategy, I come across these buzzwords frequently. So I think of terms like data science or Internet of Things or artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural networks. I mean, the list goes on. It gets really, really long. And behind each one of those buzzwords are some really cool concepts that we're really just starting to scratch the surface of within our industry, and really probably society as a whole. So I guess, if we were to take a big step back and put all these terms aside for just a minute, how would you summarize why these things matter? Why should people care about them?
Yeah, that's another great question. These terms seem to be multiplying every day, and they start to lose their meaning when they're not used in the appropriate context. Um, these are all different technologies or tools that allow us to execute our mission better. The Internet of Things allows us to collect more data from remote places than we would have ever thought possible a decade or two ago. Machine learning gives us tools to draw insights from all of this data and turn that data into value for our clients. In general, all of these technologies really help us better understand our clients' energy usage, help them purchase energy at lower prices, and help them hit their sustainability goals. They also help our teams work more efficiently internally, which ultimately means more time available to help the client.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's great to create more efficiencies internally, but I love when we can unlock that last little bit of value for the client. And ultimately they serve customers too, so it really helps us serve them, and then them serve that end use client. So Jeff, I know you've been involved in a lot of different projects during your short time at Schneider. Can you give us just an example or two that comes to mind about how your team is leveraging some of these unique concepts to drive efficiency in the business, and ultimately incremental value for our clients, which I think is really the most important piece of this overall effort?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the major topics we've been involved in over the last year and a half has been anomaly detection. So we take a look at our clients' energy usage and the costs that they're spending, and we look for things that don't align with what we expect to see. This helps us ensure that our clients are being accurately billed, and it also ensures that they're able to accurately disclose their annual energy spend when it comes time for sustainability reporting. Not only does this help our clients, but like you mentioned, it does help us be more efficient internally, which again means more face time with the client.
Absolutely. Yeah, it totally makes sense. So, your technology team liaises a lot with subject matter experts to develop new ideas and start to bring those into concepts, and eventually make those come to life. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've enjoyed through that process, and what common challenges you've experienced across projects? I think maybe you've alluded to a little bit of this previously, but if you could just maybe elaborate a little bit more in terms of what you've enjoyed and some of those challenges that you've experienced across projects, I think that could be helpful.
Sure. Yes, I touched on this a little bit earlier, but our relationship with subject matter experts is key to success. Most of the time, the subject matter experts come to my team with the initial ideas, and we really work together to flesh out the product. The subject matter experts are also integral to the testing process, ensuring that whatever my team develops, whether it's a product or a solution, we have to make sure that it fits the needs of the client or the internal stakeholders. I've really enjoyed the process of educating colleagues around recent advances in machine learning and data science that enable us to do new things. It's most exciting when our colleagues are able to truly understand the potential of the tools we deal with and can see ways in which those can be employed in their area of expertise.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. I know for me personally too, I love it both when the light bulb goes on for myself with a new concept, but also when I see that light bulb come on for others too. And you realize that they can all of a sudden understand that value that's being created. So I think that's a really neat thing. Jeff, I know we've got a lot more of these sessions upcoming in kind of this digital video series, and we'll expand on a lot of the topics that we've touched on today. But before we go, can you share your view on kind of what's next? You know, where will the industry and maybe more broadly the world go from here? And how can organizations set themselves up for success? What sort of advice would you have for them?
Yeah, such an important question, and we could spend hours discussing just this one, but I'll try to limit myself to a couple of highlights. I really expect the Internet of Things to become more prevalent in our business. Soon, for even more clients, I think we'll be able to track energy consumption down to a single machine or watch the temperature of individual rooms fluctuate throughout the day. Every additional piece of information that the client collects gets us one step closer to optimizing their energy usage. We already have capability in some instances to set optimal heating and cooling schedules, much like you might see in your home with a smart thermostat. But imagine that concept multiplied across offices, factories, warehouses, data centers, and we could potentially control even more aspects of energy consumption. Machine learning gives us the capability to find patterns in all of that data. We can, for example, learn to optimize usage schedules to avoid peak power charges. Additionally, with long-term machine level data, we can start to understand when machines or parts are reaching end of life, and we can preemptively order replacements or schedule repairs. This minimizes downtime, and again, just means more money in the pockets of our clients. In general, my advice to other organizations is relatively simple. Treat the data that you generate or could potentially generate as one of your most valuable assets. Start collecting data now, ensure that data is collected accurately, and make sure you're taking advantage of that data. Additionally, I would advise others to adopt a similar culture of innovation and always be thinking about ways that technology can improve the way you do business. Of course, work to find ways to be more efficient, not only in the way you conduct business, but also in the way you consume energy.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And I'll tell you, one of the things that's most interesting to me as a trained economist is just the interplay of all the different assets in a marketplace environment. I think that's so cool, and the optimization and monetization of those assets. So being able to leverage some of the technologies that you talked about today, you know, really brings some of that to life. And I look forward to kind of seeing that evolve over the next 3, 5, 10, 15 years, whatever it looks like. So Jeff, it's been a real pleasure talking to you today. I know we're going to have more of these digital video series coming up, and it's really exciting to learn about the innovations that are taking place in the industry, and you know, looking forward to hearing the future sessions with other guests and speakers. So for now, I appreciate your time, and thanks for the chance to connect.
Yeah. Thanks, Dominic. It's always fun to talk data science, technology, and innovation.
Absolutely. All right, Jeff, take care.
Bye.